As you guys saw in the title of the video, unfortunately I lost my mom. She survived by me and my brother, her grandkids. Totally unexpected. So I'm just going to do this for myself. And for you guys, if the videos slow down for a little bit, which I'm going to try to keep up with them. You guys know I took a big pause for an entire week because I took a week off from doing almost anything. And this is the first video I'm filming since the passing of my mom. And I know this is what she would want, is me to continue on. Because she actually watched my videos, she enjoyed them. I would always tell her to be careful and not to comment on them, or be very vague if you do comment. Because I didn't want people knowing that, you know, my mom was on here. This way they wouldn't, you know, try to get her information, try to dox her or dox me. So basically what happened is I was coming home from work. It was a Saturday and I was driving home. I went home. I made dinner for my daughter, and then a friend of mine had invited me to a Halloween party. I never go. And the reason why I never go is because the party's so far away. It's 2.5 hours away from my house in Connecticut. And he has an awesome game room. It's like a Halloween birthday party bash, he calls it. And he invites select people. I bought a game from him like 5 or 6 years ago. And every year he invites me. I've been there once. Had a great time the one time I did go. And I haven't been there since because it was so far away. So at the last minute, I decided to go. I asked my daughter if she wanted to go, and she said no. I didn't realize that that would actually be a good thing, based on the call that I got. So I start heading out there. I call my new girlfriend, Jennifer, who is at that point just my girlfriend for 2 days. We started dating, and then on October 10th, I asked her if she wanted to be my girlfriend. I lost my mom on October 12th. So I asked Jennifer if she wants to go to this party with me. And she says, yeah, absolutely. So I go to her work. She works in Connecticut. I go and pick her up. And I'm about 10 minutes now from this party. And I get a phone call. It was about, I want to say it was like 8:18 at night, 8:20, somewhere around there. And I remember looking at her, and I see my mom's cell phone number pop up. And I said, this is really unusual for my mom to be calling at this time. And I pick it up. And it's, hi, is this Sean and my last name? And I said, yes. Hi, this is blah, blah, blah hospital. Your mom's here. She had a heart attack. We're giving her CPR. The worst call you could possibly get. You know, one of the worst calls you could possibly get. It was awful. An awful call to get. And I was 2.5 hours away from my house now at this point. My mom was another hour and a half away from there. She lives close to me. She lives about 15 minutes from me. But she loved the casino. She loved the casino. And she really loved the casino. We grew up pretty much hanging out in Atlantic City a lot. And I think that's why I have a connection to Atlantic City. She actually went to school in Atlantic City. And I recently went to Atlantic City. And I haven't put those videos up yet. But back in August, I was in Wildwood. And I stopped in Atlantic City, and I always ask her, where'd you go to school here? You know, blah, blah, blah. And every time she gets back to me and texts me back, I'm already gone out of the area. So it was weird that this time, now knowing the circumstances, what happened, that this particular time, I asked her, she got back to me, and then I took pictures of where she went to school, and I went there, and it was kind of cool to see it. And, you know, where she grew up and where she lived. And, you know, I got to see all that stuff, so it was interesting. That was only back in August, just a couple months ago. Of course, they're painting lines out here on the road. So I get the phone call, 2.5 hours away. Now I turn around immediately. I'm like 10 minutes from this guy's house. I turn around immediately. I drop Jennifer back off at her job because that's where her car is. And I call my brother, can't get a hold of him, call him over and over and over again. Finally, I call his girlfriend, and she answers the phone. I told her, tell him to call me. I need to talk to him. It's very important. I told her what happened. And how the hospital called me from my mom's phone is the phone was unlocked. She was really, I follow in her footsteps. I'm like really bad at tech too, believe it or not. She wouldn't lock her phone screen. So if you have an iPhone, you press that side button, it locks the screen, and then you have to put a password in. Well, she would always leave it unlocked so you could see the screen. The problem, the thing is, I would tell her, I said, Ma, you're gonna waste the battery, you're gonna limit the life of the phone with not locking the screen. And she's like, no, she's like, if you lock it, the phone wouldn't ring. I'm like, no, Ma, that's not how it works. So her phone was unlocked. So because her phone was unlocked, they were able to call me. They saw my name on the top, and they were able to call me, which we found out what happened later on in the day, when we got to the hospital, basically, because they had accidentally locked the phone, and they didn't realize when they locked the phone that it had a password on it. So they couldn't call me back after that. So now I drop off Jennifer. I start driving down Interstate 84 in Connecticut, New York. I'm going like 85, 90 miles an hour. I'm in my truck. Thank God I took my truck and did not take the Mustang because it's electric, and I would have had to stop to charge the car, and that would have took more time. And I'm rushing back. I come across this state trooper who's in the speeding lane, and she's going like 68, 70 miles an hour, and I have my hazards on. Everybody's moving out of the way. I'm flashing cars. It was awesome. It's when you have an emergency, it's amazing that, things start to happen. A lot of things come together, and people were like courteous. They were getting out of the way, and that was a nice thing. So I come across this state trooper. She moves over for me, and then I keep going 85, and of course she pulls me over. So she gets halfway to the car, and when she gets to the car, after she pulled me over, I lean out the window. I'm like, hurry up, please come. My mom's in the hospital. She's had a heart attack. She said, what hospital? I named the hospital, and she goes, go. She didn't even make it to my car window. And I don't know if she called ahead or not, but I passed 3 or 4 state troopers sitting on the side of the road. I didn't get pulled over once. My arm's getting tired. So I had gotten a hold of my brother finally. He was definitely closer than I was at the time. He was about an hour ahead of me where he was located. So he made it to the hospital before me, about 25 minutes before I did, but they only let him in the room about 5 minutes before me. And I get in the room, and I see him standing there, and there's a hospital bed, and covers up to my mom's chin, so I can't see her face. So he's standing there. I'm thinking she's all right, and she didn't make it. So it sucks. I freaking literally punched the wall. It sucks to lose your parents, your parent, a relative. I've lost plenty of aunts and uncles that I've loved and cared about. I lost a few friends here and there. But losing a parent, this is my only parent. I grew up without a father. I don't know my father. Growing up, losing your only parent unexpectedly, not being able to say goodbye. I think it was probably about a week since I talked to my mom. And I wish I could go back and say, hey, do you want to come over for dinner? Hey, do you want to go out to dinner? You want to go do something? Hey, can I come over? You don't think about it because you never know when your last day is, when God is going to call you, when your last breath is going to be. She was always afraid of dying. I'm glad that she's at peace now, and hopefully she went quick, because I don't know, but from what I understand, from what the people told me, is that she went very quickly. She, like I said, loved the casino. She got to the casino and literally got there, and she never even made it to her room that day. She died on the casino floor, which is kind of ironic because she loved it so much. I'm glad that she wasn't totally alone, and also being in the situation that she was in, rather than her being home by herself, any possible chance that she had, she probably had the best chance of it happening there, only because she was around other people instead of being by herself, so she got medical treatment immediately. But it sucks. It doesn't make it any easier. So here we are at the cemetery where my mom is now buried. We had a service for her on a Sunday. Had her cremated. My brother and I have been cleaning out her. I took an entire week off. My brother and I cleaning out her apartment. She had a lot of stuff. She saved everything. I found artwork from when I was like in second grade, third grade. My brother, she saved everything. Going through papers, shredding things, and it's hard because her lease is up on October 31st. Landlord was very nice, said take your time, but you know what that really means. Be out by October 31st. And to mourn for your relative and then also have to clean out their home, go through their things, and decide what's important, what to donate, what to sell, what to throw away. Why mourning your relative is very difficult. Strangely enough, the first time walking in her house, in her apartment, was the hardest, and the last time I closed the door was the hardest. Spending 8 to 9 hours there a day, going through things, moving things, I didn't really feel it as much until I got home and thought about it and decompressed. It's finally coming to a close now, everything, and here we are on, I think today's October 24th. Actually, yes, it is October 24th. And thankfully, my brother stepped up. He did some things that I couldn't do. He threw a lot of stuff away that I couldn't throw away. And I did some stuff that he couldn't do. I went through a lot of documents and paperwork that he didn't have the patience for. So, we weren't talking before this, and we worked together as a team to get through everything, and came together, and hopefully now this helps us bond a little bit better again and get back together. Maybe our mom did this for us. But yeah, it's been hard. I'm now past the mourning stage, and trying to move on in my life, and it was good to get back to work. I just have to get some normalcy back in my life, and I'm sure my brother does as well, and my family. She had a good showing for her services, working. She worked at a police station. She was still currently working, and she was young. She was only born in 1955. Her birthday would have been December 10th. So yeah, it was hard. So one thing I'll tell you guys is love your parents if they're still around. If you're not talking to your mom or dad, go hug your mom, hug your dad. Lawnmower's passing by. If they're still around, go hug your mom and hug your dad, because you never know when that last breath is going to be. My mom was not in the hospital. She literally fell to the ground, and and that was it. I never got to say goodbye. So she probably would have wanted it that way over being in the hospital on a bunch of machines and stuff. But it's selfish for me to want to say goodbye to her, and just get that chance. But yeah, I just wanted to give you guys an update on what's going on with me and my family and life, and we're going to try to get back to normalcy here, and I'm going to try to be as normal as possible. It definitely, for me, gave me a big dose of reality, and I don't know, a different outlook on life. So biggest thing I can tell you is, if you're not talking to one of your parents and still around, like I said, call your mom, call your dad, tell them you love them if they're still around. And until next time, guys, I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.
Hey, I saw you just called me, and I pushed it off by accident. I don't know why I always hit the wrong thing, so I was calling you back. Okay, bye.